Hello aspirants, welcome to GDC classes and welcome to Tejas series. So do you know all about the Tejas series? So in this Tejas series, we'll discuss the MCQs with answers as well as explanation, and especially it is useful for the to crack your Telangana pharmacist as well as RRB pharmacist. So Telangana pharmacist was only related to the state government and RRB is related to the central government. But is every pharmacist exam like RRB pharmacist, like Telangana, whatever it may be, different state of pharmacist, ESIC pharmacist, central government health scheme. So all pharmacist examinations surely having same syllabus. Maybe there is a little bit variation. So don't worry about that. So GDC will take care of that. Yes, GDC faculty as well as GDC materials definitely will help you. I hope you all know about the quality as well as the strength of the GDC. That's why most of the students across the India from the pharma field, they prefer GDC platform, GDC classes for their GPAT, drug inspector, pharmacist as well as NIPER preparation. So let's go into the session, and in this session we will discuss regarding the introduction and route of administration, a basic topic and concept of pharmacology, that especially MCQs with explanation. So like this Tejas series, you will get all topics of all subjects and you will get uploaded in the YouTube, and you can subscribe to the GDC English classes. Okay. Yes, myself Ashok Kumar Apuri. I completed my MS from NIPER Raebareli, completed in 2015, and since that I am in the teaching field and also part of a pharma number one, India's number one pharma platform, that is GDC, GPAT Discussion Center. So here, regarding your competitive scenario, practicing of MCQs and knowing of detail why that only correct, why remaining three are wrong, that explanation is very important. Yes, once you joined in the GDC means you well known, you are qualified as well as, but the competition is heavy. So to compete with that competition, you always in the preparation daily, how much time it is possible. So just going through the topic, revise the topic and practice the MCQs. Again, revise the topic. Only basic formula for all topics of all subjects. Okay, so like these videos will be uploaded in the YouTube channel of GDC English classes on all topics as well as all subjects. So here, the first MCQ is the which of the following drug is known as orphan drug? Which of the following drug is known as orphan drug? So options like salbutamol, clozapine, clofazimine as well as tropicamide. So generally tropicamide is a myotic, sorry, mydriatic. Tropicamide is a generally mydriatic. So what is mydriatic? So mydriatic nothing but that involves in the dilation of pupil of eye by causing relaxation of ciliary muscle, nothing but circular muscle of the eye. Okay. So generally that is mydriatic. MYDRI. Anyway, so it is little bit taking more time explanation by using okay. So as you know, salbutamol is a drug of choice for treatment of asthma. It acts as a beta 2 receptor agonist. And the clozapine is a second generation antipsychotics. The major problem with clozapine is agranulocytosis. That's why it's a derivative olanzapine. Clozapine, olanzapine. Olanzapine does not having any drawback of agranulocytosis. And clofazimine is a drug generally for treatment of leprosy. Clofazimine is a dye compound for treatment of leprosy. And tropicamide is a mydriatic. Tropicamide is a mydriatic, causes dilation of pupil of eye. And the answer for this, which of the following drug is a orphan drug means the answer is clofazimine. Yes, what are the orphan drugs? These are the drugs or biological products for diagnosis or treatment or prevention of a rare disease or condition. So what is simply orphan drug? These are the drugs or biological products for the diagnosis purpose, for the treatment purpose or prevention purpose for the rare disease are the condition. So rare disease are the condition. So orphan drugs are nothing but mainly for helps in treatment or diagnosis or prevention of rare diseases like leprosy. And here list of the organ drugs like orphan drugs like azacitidine, icatibant, bevacizumab, iloprost, a prostaglandin analog, bortezomib, nilotinib. So all NIBs, NABs, all NIBs are tyrosine kinase enzyme inhibitors. They inhibit the tyrosine kinase enzyme and helps in the treatment of cancers. And busulfan anti-cancer drug, paromomycin aminoglycoside, carboprost a prostaglandin analog, and clofazimine antileprotic, rituximab a monoclonal antibody, colchicine a drug for treatment of gout, eltromopag, and sodium thiosulfate, fomivirsin, thiotepa, rifamycin. So these are the list of the drugs. A few example comes under the category of orphan drugs. So orphan drugs nothing but these are used for the treatment of rare disease. Next, and regarding next MCQ, which are the following? Nothing but who are the following father of chemotherapy? Father of chemotherapy. The options are like Rudolf Buchin, Paul Ehrlich, Galen, Oswald Schmiddenberg. I hope most of you people already know the answer, Paul Ehrlich, because if you open any of the pharmacology textbook, mostly that first page of pharmacology textbook contain Paul Ehrlich was the father of chemotherapy. He done excellent work in the early 1900s on the animals by using compounds against the bacterial infections. So especially Paul Ehrlich was the father of chemotherapy. He done a tremendous work in the early 1900s, and because of his work only now we are using many number of antibiotics like penicillin, cephalosporin, sulfonamides, fluoroquinolones, etc., etc. Okay. Yes, the answer you already know that, the Paul Ehrlich. And here, father of pharmacology. So, along with father of chemotherapy, now the list here I am discussing father of pharmacology Oswald Schmiddenberg and founded Institute of Pharmacology. So, Rudolf Buchin first founded the Pharmacology Institute, and the first pharmacist you know already Galen, first pharmacist Galen, and the father of chemotherapy you already know that Paul Ehrlich. Next, discovery of penicillin by Alexander Fleming from the Penicillium notatum species, and discovery of streptomycin a aminoglycoside by Selman Waxman. Discovery of insulin by Banting and Best. Yes, insulin discovery is a revolutionary because it helps. It is a bone. It is a bone for the many diabetic patients. Next, discovery of antimicrobial effect of prontacil by Gerard Domac, and prontacil is the leading molecule for the further discovery of sulfonamides. Sulfonamides are first antimicrobial compounds effective on pus forming infections, bacterial infection. And the father of medicine Hippocrates. So this is a table is very important, so please go through it whatever it may be. Once you studied anything, close the eyes and rewind the things. If you unable to remember, again open the eyes and see the things. The only thing in the competitive scenario, any subject, any topic, go through the deep discussion or studying. Once you are having confidence, close the book, revise the things by closing the eyes. If you're unable to remember, immediately open the book and see. So like that you have to practice. Once you have confidence on the topic, go through the MCQs in our GDC YouTube channel, GDC classes YouTube channel, whatever it may be. Okay. Next question. It is the application of pharmacological information together with the knowledge of disease for its prevention, migration, or cure. So, among these four options, so which is the application of pharmacological information together with knowledge of the disease for its prevention, mitigation, and the cure? So, pharmacology, clinical pharmacology, pharmacotherapeutics, as well as pharmacy. Yes, the answer is the pharmacotherapeutics. So, pharmacology, just study of the drugs. Clinical pharmacology, regarding the clinical orientation. Pharmacotherapy, so pharmacotherapy is the art of treatment, and pharmacy nothing but simply prescribing of the medication. Next, pharmacotherapeutics is the application of pharmacological information together with knowledge of disease for its prevention, mitigation, or cure, and to ensure proper and rational usage of drugs. Selection of appropriate drug, dosage, and duration of treatment according to stage of disease, specific features of the patient are part of pharmacotherapeutics. So simply, first we have to know patient, male, female, pregnant women, non-pregnant women, children's, infants, old age people, and if they are suffering from any renal failure, heart failure. So we have to know about all this scenario, and based on the scenario, what is the disease he is suffering from, what is the stage of the disease, starting, between, or end stage, and based on that we have to start the treatment. We have to start the treatment. So that's why pharmacotherapy nothing but the art of treatment. Pharmacotherapy nothing but the art of treatment. Okay. Next. Next. Wait a moment. Next. The continuation. Name assigned by the manufacturer and is property or trademark. Name assigned by the manufacturer who manufactured, like any pharmaceutical company. So that is nothing but sorry, name assigned by the manufacturer and his property or trademark. So options are like generic name, chemical name, proprietary name, non-proprietary name. So non-proprietary name, proprietary name, as well as chemical name and generic name. Yes, the answer will be the proprietary name. So let's see the discussion on this MCQ. Chemical name. Yes, chemical name describe the substance chemically. Chemical name describe the substance chemically. And next, for example, diphenyl hydantine sodium. So chemically, phenytoin is a diphenyl hydantine sodium in the form of sodium salt. So phenytoin is an anti-epileptic, acts by blocking voltage-gated sodium channels and controls epilepsy or seizures. Next, non-proprietary or approved name or official or generic name. So non-proprietary or approved, official or generic name. The name accepted by a competent scientific body, authority like USAN Council. Example, phenytoin, phenyl hydantine, diphenyl hydantine, phenytoin. And proprietary brand name, the name assigned by the manufacturer and is property or trademark. The trade name of the drug, the brand name of the drug is Dilantin. So Dilantin is a brand name and phenytoin is a non-proprietary or approved or official or generic name, and chemical name will be the diphenyl hydantine sodium. So phenytoin is one of the commonly using anti-epileptic for treatment of epilepsy, nothing but seizures. Yes, this is MCQ session. Yes, we have to go a little bit fast, and uh, it's your personal. You can pause the video and you can see in detail also the explanation whatever it may be. And next, further continuation of MCQ, over the counter drugs that can be obtained without a prescription. Over the counter drugs that can be obtained without prescription, like prescription drugs, non prescription drugs, essential drug, as well as orphan drug. So over the drugs, over the counter drugs, OCD drugs can be obtained without prescription, no need of prescription. Generally that is suitable for like some any like any cold medication, simple medication, like any chewable tablets. Okay, like that. So chewable tablets nothing but definitely for the cough sills. Okay. So let's see the answer. Yes, non-prescription drugs. So what are the non-prescription drugs and simply prescription drugs? Okay, non-prescription drugs, also called over-the-counter drugs, that can be obtained without a prescription like strepsils, as well as paracetamol. So without consulting the doctor also, we can directly go to the medical shop. Yes, you can get it, because these drugs does not cause that much damage to our body. They does not cause any addiction of physical as well as psychological also. Okay, next, prescription drugs. It is a pharmaceutical drug that legally requires a medical prescription to be dispensed. Example, antidepressants. So antidepressants are the drugs acting on the CNS. So for that purpose, first you have to consult the doctor, and based on his suggestion and his prescription only, you have to take like these drugs. Because these drugs acting on the central nervous system, there is a chance of advantage and more disadvantages also. Yes, I hope you already joined our pharmacist coaching for Telangana as well as RRB pharmacist coaching. Yes, you already having the capacity of self preparation, and you know about our materials, GDC materials. GDC providing materials for each course like GPAT, NIPER, DA, pharmacist, everything. So, and for pharmacist also you can get theory competitive book as well as objective competitive book, hard copy materials. And if you want to join our classes, yes, you can get live classes, you can get pre-recorded classes, and you can listen the live recorded classes also, and you can get e-notes of different subjects and topics, and you will get marathon series like live MCQ session as well as recorded MCQ session. Yes, you have the capacity for the self preparation. But if you join in a coaching, you will know how to study, what to study, where to study, which topic we have to focus like that. Yes, the way of studying definitely especially the GDC, you can crack anything because the content we are providing. Okay, for details, you can contact our GDC, or you can directly contact me also on 799 531 8103. Okay, yes, you can directly contact me for coaching details. 799 531 8103. So myself Ashok Kumar Apuri, I am the coordinator of GDC South English classes. So regarding GPAT, NIPER, DA, pharmacist, AV coaching, so for details you can call me on this number, and surely I will respond because it's my responsibility. Yes, the following, next MCQ. The following are obtained from the animal source except. Yes, cocaine from the plant source erythroxylin and coca. Insulin definitely from the different sources from the microorganisms. You will get E. coli. Through the E. coli you will get insulin, and even like porcine insulin from the pig. And heparin also generally you can get from the body, it is available, as well as from animal source also you will get for more production. And anti-seras, so definitely anti-seras will be the answer. Sorry, I confused you also. The following are obtained from the animal source except. So sorry for my inconvenience. So the following are obtained from the animal source except. So insulin, heparin, antisera, all these are produced from the animal source, and this is the cocaine is from the plant source. I hope you observed. There is a chance of confusion. 100% I know about this MCQ because we only prepared, but see the live example, there is a chance of confusion. Please first clearly observe the question. The following are obtained from the animal source except. So except with, without, a, and whatever it may be. Okay, yes, you already know. So this is the explanation. Cocaine is a naturally occurring coca alkaloid from the leaves of the coca plant Erythroxylon coca, belongs to the family Erythroxylaceae, and it is a non-solanaceous tropane alkaloid. Non-solanaceous tropane alkaloid. Yes, sources of drugs. Naturally, the drugs are from the plant source like morphine, atropine, from the animals insulin, heparin, from the mineral source like magnesium sulfate, aluminum hydroxide, from the microorganisms penicillin, cephalosporins, etc., and humans immunoglobulins, growth hormones, and synthetic source like neostigma, omeprazole. Synthetic means directly we can prepare in the laboratory. And regarding the biotechnology, cell culture, example urokinase from the kidney cells. Urokinase is a fibrinolytic, helps in the treatment of clotting disorders. and hybridoma technologies, rDNA technologies like rituximab, monoclonal antibody, and recombinant DNA technology, human insulin as well as tissue plasminogen activator. So this is our MCQ session. Yes, I am going little bit fast. Next, which of the following is known as a life-saving drugs? And even I gave my number to you. You can message me regarding if you're having any doubts, if you're feeling a little bit disappointment, and if you're feeling the competition is more, and if you want to get some motivation. Yes, you can call me on my number, and definitely I will share my experience with you, and definitely I will guide you. Next, which of the following is known as life-saving drug? Which of the following are known as life-saving drug? Naturally obtained drugs, essential drugs, essential drugs as well as orphan drugs, and all of these. So all of this option is very very important. So psychologically we will fix that yes all of the option is correct, but definitely there is also chance the all of the above is also correct. But here, which of the following are known as life-saving drugs is orphan drugs. Yes, see the explanation. Orphan Drug Designation Program provides orphan status to drugs and biologics which are defined to those intended for the treatment, prevention, diagnosis of the rare disease or condition. Diagnosis of rare disease or condition. Although these drugs may life-saving for some patients, they are commercially difficult to obtain as a medicinal product. Commercially, it is difficult to get them as a medicinal products. Okay, next. Which of the following is known as extra pharmacopoeia? So, Martindale, pharmacopoeia, formulary, physician desk reference. Physician desk reference. Okay, let's see. Okay, the continuation. Which of the following is known as extra pharmacopoeia? Nothing but it is a Martindale. 1 minute. Yes. So let's see the discussion regarding this MCQ. So the source of drug information. The source of drug information. Definitely the first option will goes to the pharmacopoeia like Indian pharmacopoeia, British pharmacopoeia, United States pharmacopoeia. Contain description of a chemical structure, molar weight, physical chemical properties, solubility, identification, assay methods, standards of purity, storage conditions, and dosage forms of officially approved drugs in a country. So this is the simply about pharmacopoeia. It contains every information. I hope you already gone through the pharmacopoeias you can found in your college libraries. And national formularies. So national formulas like the list indication, nothing but application, dosage forms like oral, like suspension, emulsion, whatever it may be, contraindications, in which condition that particular drug not suitable, precautions, what are the precautions should be take, adverse effect, storage of selected drugs that available for medicinal use in a country. Next, what about this Martindale, the extra pharmacopoeia and the source of drug information also, the physician's desk reference. Yes, the physician or prescriber who are prescribed the drugs on the desk, they should have some information like physician's desk reference. And journals of pharmacology, yes, from that also you will get information about drugs. Drug bulletins like magazines. American Medical Association drug evaluation and database like Micromedics, Medline, Cochrane Library. So these are the different online sources through which we will get the information of drugs. Information of drugs. Next, the drugs on which people become dependent are called. The drugs on which people become dependent are known as industrial drugs, single cell drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, addictive drugs. So the drugs on which people become dependent. So surely, definitely the answer will be the addictive drugs. Yes, that you know, because these type of drugs can cause addiction. Especially, what is the reason behind the addiction? What is the reason behind the addiction? The reason behind the addiction is when any drug like nicotine, heroin, amphetamine like drugs enter into your brain, they increase the dopamine levels. They increase the dopamine levels by stimulate the addiction center known as nucleus accumbens. The addiction center in the brain is known as nucleus accumbens. That nucleus accumbens is a full of dopamine, is a full of dopamine. When these addiction drugs enter in brain, they increase the release of dopamine. The dopamine produces euphoria, a state of well-being, the highly excitable state. That's why the people are addicted to the drugs, get addicted to the drug. So what is simply drug addiction? Regarding the drug addiction, is a disease that affects person's brain as well as behavior, leads to inability to control the use of legal or illegal drug or medicine. So affect the person brain as well as his behavior. The term drugs being also used to mean addictive, abuse, illicit drugs. So illicit drugs nothing but like what we call like cocaine drugs, illicit drugs, illegal drugs, and abuse. Abuse means misuse of drugs. If doctor prescribe two drugs, but if they are taking five or nothing matter more than two drugs, more than prescribed drugs if they are taking, that is known as drug abuse or misuse. Like sleeping pills. So sleeping pills like barbiturates, benzodiazepines. Generally, sleeping pills are the purpose of to get proper sleep. Who are suffering from insomnia, lack of sleep. But if that pills are maybe one or two pills daily, but if that pills are taken at a time 15, 20, 30, more than that, it leads to cerebral paralysis and cause the death. Okay, by taking sleeping pills. That is drug misuse, drug abuse. Next continuation. All are local routes of drug administration except all are local routes of drug administration. Topical, yes, directly on the topical. Intra-articular, directly into the joints. Intranasal, directly into the nose. Intra-arterial means into the arteries. All are local routes of drug administration except, what is that exception? That will be the intranasal. Yes, here you can go through this flow chart. The local route of administration like a topical route into the deep tissues like intra-articular into the joints, synovial joints, intrathecal into the spinal cord, retrobulbar into the eye, arterial supply, intra-arterial directly into the arteries, and enteral means of intestine. So if you taking drug through this route, definitely they pass to the gastrointestinal tract, oral, sublingual, rectal as well as cutaneous. Next, parenteral. Regarding parental route of administration, so these are parenteral, away from the intestine. Parenteral. The advantage of parental route, no first pass metabolism, bioavailability is more. So injectables like intravenous route, intramuscular route, intradermal route, subcutaneous in the form of dermozeds, pellet implantation, non-biodegradable implants, and non-injectables like transdermal, inhalational as well as intranasal. So this is a simple flow chart of the classification of route of administration. So the next question will be the what is a true about, what is a true about routes of drug administration. 80% bioavailability through the IV intravenous route. Intramuscular administration needs sterile technique. Intradermal injection produces local tissue necrosis and irritation. Inhalation produces delayed systemic bioavailability. What is a true? So 80% bioavailability by intravenous injection. The intravenous injection is having 100% bioavailability, and intramuscular administration is sterile techniques. Intradermal injection produces local tissue necrosis, there is a chance of irritation. Okay, so let's see the answer. Yes, the true factor is intramuscular administration needs sterile technique because you are directly taken to the body, and nothing but it is a parental route, so sterilization 100% required, and remaining 100% bioavailability is required for IV injection, And intradermal injection does not cause local tissue necrosis or irritation. Inhalation produces delayed systemic. No, inhalation produces immediate, because by the inhaler you are taking the drugs, or by directly you are taking into the nose. So they produce immediate action. They produce immediate action. Yes, IM injections require a puncture to be made, thus requiring sterile environments and procedure to minimize the risk of pathogens to enter into the body. And intravenous injection 100% viability. Intradermal injection does not produce local tissue necrosis as well as irritation. And inhalation produces rapid systemic bioavailability. So by the inhalation you will get effect immediately, like people suffering from asthma, so by the inhalation they will get effect immediately. And intradermal injection is mainly for the to identify the skin sensitization, how the patient is responding to particular drug. It's small dose like 0.1 ml or 0.2 ml. They administer the dose into dermis, intradermal route, and they observe her if patient is having any allergic reaction, any sensitive reaction. If it, if he is not showing any reaction, yes, they will proceed further. If with that small dose he is showing any adverse reaction, they will go for alternative drug. Okay, next. So the science deals with the interaction of exogenously administered chemical molecules with living system. The science deal with interaction of exogenously administered chemical molecules like anthropology, bioinformatics, informatics, and pharmacology. Yes, by seeing the option you can easily understand. So anthropology, bioinformatics, informatics are not related here. So definitely it will be the pharmacology. Pharmacology is dealing about drugs, study of drugs. Yes, you know already, but let's see the discussion. Pharmacology is the science of drugs. Greek word pharmakon means drug. Logos means to study, discuss, study of drugs. In a broad sense, it deals with interaction of exogenously administered chemical molecules with living systems. Any single chemical substance which can produce a biological response is a drug. Biological response is a drug. Next, intravenous drug given at which angle? Intravenous drug given at which angle? So option is 45 degree, 25 degree, 10 to 15 degree, 90 degree. So among this, the lowest angle will goes to the intravenous route of administration. That is, one of the lowest angle is 25 degree. Intravenous drugs given at the angle of 25 degree. Yes, this is the picture, definitely important for your competitive coaching and competitive preparation. So intramuscular, this is a 90 degree. Intramuscular will be the 90 degree, and subcutaneous route of administration will be the 45 degree, and intravenous will be the 25 degree, and intradermal will be the 10 to 15 degree. The lowest angle will goes to the intradermal and highest angle will goes to the intramuscular. Yes, this is simply intramuscular, the position 90 degree, and subcutaneous will be the 45 degree, and intravenous will be the 25 degree, and intradermal will be the 10 to 15 degrees. Okay, yes, you know about the scenario of competitive exams. The notifications are upcoming. So already RRB is released, and from the Telangana state, 100% the circular is passed. In the September, yes, in this month they will give clear notification what are the vacancies, and upcoming central government health pharmacist, central government health scheme pharmacist. I think there is a chance of 700 plus vacancies. So may release at a time, or in the divisions, like in first notification maybe around 400, in next like that. Okay, and there is a chance of UPC drug inspector also. So this is a huge chance, especially who are the freshers, who are studying BPharm, and who are recently completed BPharm, especially PharmD. So they are having the chance to crack this. It may be pharmacist, any pharmacist like ESIC, like any pharmacist like RRP, like Telangana pharmacist, statewide pharmacist, central government health scheme pharmacist, drug inspectors. So there are many notifications are coming, many vacancies are there. So please be in your preparation for 1 year. So most of you think that so no, I am unable to put in the work for hard work for government jobs, because government jobs are giving many facilities. It's your personal. If you having really your goals, that's it's good, but your goal is only getting to good income and to set well settled in the life, definitely government jobs are one of the major source. And for that purpose, minimum 1 year continuous preparation is required, because to beat the competition, not only beat yourself, to beat the competition also. Okay, for any details you can contact me for motivation, suggestions, whatever it may be. Yes, definitely I will help you in this regard. Yes, going to the further, which route is suitable for mass inoculation? So mass inoculation like dermozet, pellet implantation, celastic implants, intramuscular. Okay, let's see the answer. Dermozets. Dermojet. So what is dermojet? Let's see the explanation of dermojet. It is a gun-like instrument for rapid injection of drug into the skin. Yes, it is essentially painless, suited for mass inoculation, administrating of mass inoculation, large amount. In this method, needle is not used. High velocity microjet of drug solution. High velocity microjet of drug solution is projected from a microfine orifice using a gun-like implement. Yes, you can see here clearly. Local anesthesia with needle injection. Local anesthesia with the needle-free injector. Needle-free injector. That is dermozets. So by using dermozet, we can go for administration of mass amount of drug, high amount of drug. That is microfine orifice using a gun-like projector without needle. That is dermojet. So simply by using dermojet, mass inoculation, huge amount of drug you can take. Next, what is the true about transdermal route of administration? What is the true about transdermal route of administration? So it is highly lipid soluble drug is absorbed, highly water soluble drug absorbed. Insulin is given by this route. Insulin is given by this route and 10 to 15 degree angle. So transdermal route of administration. So what is the true? Options like highly lipid soluble drug absorbed, highly water soluble drug absorbed. Insulin is given by this route and 10 to 15 degree is the angle of administration. Yes, the true is yes 100% high lipid soluble transdermal. Transdermal nothing but a part of the skin. So lipid content will be there. So that's why highly lipid soluble drugs are having good absorption. So highly water soluble drugs are not absorbed here. So insulin is not taken by transdermal. Generally insulin taken by the subcutaneous route. Okay, and 10 to 15 degrees for the dermal route, intradermal route, intradermal route. So have a small discussion regarding here. Yes, especially in the fourth year of your pharmaceutics, you have novel drug delivery system. At that novel drug delivery system, many drug delivery systems are based in the transdermal route. So transdermal is route of administration wherein highly lipid soluble drugs can be applied, especially highly lipid soluble drugs over the skin for slow and prolonged absorption. The drug is administered in the form of a patch or ointment that delivers drug into the circulation for systemic effect. So here it is a drug solution, here it is the porous membrane, and here it is the outer layer, and here it is the adhesive patch. In that patch the drug will be there. The drug is slowly constantly released into the skin parts, different skin layers, for showing the action, for showing the action. Okay. So further continuation. Yes, this is our railway pharmacist crash course and including Telangana pharmacist also, because all pharmacists like ESIC, RRB, some other stream of pharmacists also having same, most of the same syllabus only. And these are like 200 plus live classes and 500 plus recorded video lectures, and online test series will be there, and previous year questions MCQs with explanation also we are providing, and free pharmacist marathon every day at 9 p.m. Okay, and generally yes, this is at 2,999 this course price only. And this without books, and if you want with books like hard copy materials, theory competitive material as well as objective material, hard copies at 3,999 price. So for details you can contact me. Yes. Yes, next, which route of administration used for drug sensitivity testing? So, if you observe in the previous discussion also, I clearly mentioned particular route of administration for drug sensitivity testing like intradermal, intramuscular, intravenous, as well as intranasal. Yes, intradermal is the route of administration for drug sensitivity testing. So, in this route of administration, drug given within the skin layer of the dermis by raising a bleb, so like that you can see here clearly a drop like structure. Only small quantity can be administered by this route. Yes, painful effect is produced, sure, mainly used for testing sensitivity of drugs if that particular drug causing any allergic reaction, any adverse drug reactions in the receiver, nothing but subject or patient. So example like BCG vaccine, smallpox vaccines, like these vaccines are taken by injected by intradermal route. The intradermal route, the angle is 10 to 15 degrees. Next, further continuation. Which of the following is incorrect for oral route of administration? The action of drug is slower and thus not suitable for emergency. So, which of the following is incorrect for oral route of administration? Action of drug is slow, thus not suitable for emergency. Yes, it is correct only. Unpalatable drugs are difficult to administer. Yes, the drugs with without a good taste. Yes, not suitable. Used for uncooperative, unconscious vomiting patient. Absorption of drug may be variable and erratic. So oral route is not suitable for uncooperative, unconscious vomiting patient because they unable to swallow. Okay, so which of the following is incorrect for oral route of administration? Yes, action of drug is slow and not suitable for emergency. Emergency parental required like intravenous route of administration. Unpalatable, bad taste drugs not suitable. Absorption of drugs, yes, absorption of drug is slow as well as variable. And the incorrect is it is not suitable for the uncooperative, unconscious as well as vomiting patients. Yes, limitations of oral route of administration. The limitation of oral route of administration cannot be used for uncooperative, unconscious vomiting patients because they are unable to swallow. Action of drug is slow and not suitable for the emergencies. Yes, that is the common thing. Unpalatable drugs like chloramphenicol are difficult to administer. Drug may be filled in capsules or circumvent this. So, in the form of capsules or in the form of sweet suspensions in children. Others are destroyed by digestive juice like penicillin G, insulin G, or in the liver, glyceryl trinitrate, testosterone, lidocaine. Especially some of the drugs like penicillin G, insulin degrade in presence of gastric acid or gastric juice. So don't take by oral route. And some of the drugs like glyceryl trinitrate, testosterone, lidocaine, they may inactivate in the liver. So don't take these drugs by oral route. When you are taking drugs by oral route, some quantity of drugs may degrade or inactivate in the intestine or liver. That's why drugs like penicillin G, insulin, glyceryl trinitrate, testosterone, lidocaine not suitable through the oral route of administration. And these are the limitations, nothing but disadvantages of the oral route of administration. Okay, next further continuation. Which route of administration does not deliver drug into the deep tissues? So, which of the following route of administration does not deliver drug into the deeper tissues like intra-articular directly into the synovial joints, intrathecal into the spinal cord, subcutaneous the subcutaneous part of the injection, retrobulbar injection, and definitely the answer will be the subcutaneous injection. So subcutaneous under the cutaneous layer of the skin. So let's see the discussion. Subcutaneous route Drug is injected into the subcutaneous tissue of the thigh, abdomen as well as arm, like adrenaline as well as insulin. I hope you know adrenaline is regarded as a physiological antagonist of histamine. Physiological antagonist of histamine. The deeper tissue administration, intra-articular, a type of shot that is placed directly into the joint to relieve the pain, hydrocortisone for knee joint, especially rheumatoid arthritis. Intrathecal, into the spinal cord, example, lidocaine by the into the subarachnoid space. So the route of administration of drugs via injection into the spinal canal into the subarachnoid space, example lidocaine. Next, retrobulbar injection. Retrobulbar injection. Hydrocortisone acetate behind the eyeballs. Hydrocortisone acetate behind the eyeballs. Next, which is not a brand name of ibuprofen. So for this purpose, you have some general knowledge by seeing the all drugs brand names, their chemical names, and simply observing the tablet sheet. Which is not a brand name of ibuprofen like Brufen, Tabalon, Tavin, Amflam. Okay, the 100% answer will be the Torvin. So Brufen, nothing but ibuprofen, a analgesic, anti-inflammatory as well as rheumatoid arthritis, treatment of rheumatoid arthritis also. So Brufen. So simply chemical composition ibuprofen. It is an analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and also for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. Because rheumatoid arthritis is a inflammatory disease as well as autoimmune disease. Taurine. It is a flupirtine used in treatment of pain relief. And Tabalon, also ibuprofen, a common painkiller treatment of backache as well as pains. Amflam, it is also ibuprofen. Yes, ibuprofen commonly for headaches, fever, period pains, toothaches, colds, etc. Okay, next. So this is also very important. Especially these like questions also will get in the pharmacist exams, especially related to the pharmacology as well as clinical pharmacy, jurisprudence, biochemistry, like that subjects. The science of detection, diagnosis, treatment of poison, toxicology, clinical toxicology, toxicodynamics, toxicokinetics, 100% dealing with the detection, diagnosis, treatment of the poison will be the clinical toxicology. First we have to detect, diagnose. First we have to detect. After that we have to diagnose what are the things happening in the body, and after that we have to treat. That is clinical toxicology. Toxicology, study of poisons. And toxicodynamics means how the toxic compound showing effect on your body. Toxicokinetics, how does toxic substance absorbing, distributing, metabolizing, eliminating in the body. Okay, so let's see the small discussion here. Clinical toxicology is a discipline within the toxicology which is concerned with impact of drugs and other chemicals on humans. Yes, so simply it is concerned with impact of drugs and other chemicals in humans in negative way, like side effects, adverse effects. Okay, next, the role of clinical toxicologist is the management of patients with acute as well as chronic poisoning. So we have to know at which dose he will get side effects, at which dose he will get beneficial effects. And clinical toxicology concerns investigation, diagnosis, management of suspected poisoning. For example, first they have to, yes, this is a barbiturates poisoning. Barbiturates are weak acids. So barbiturates can cross all membranes of the body. And based on that, they have to detect, diagnose, and start the treatment. Okay. Yes, further continuation. Yes, regarding the further continuation, the next MCQ, the term is used clinically to describe a medical emergency caused by allergy to a variety of agents. The term is used clinically to describe a medical emergency caused by allergy to a variety of agents like anaphylaxis, prophylaxis, trauma, proteolysis. So proteolysis is nothing but breakdown of proteins. Trauma nothing but severe injury because of bleeding or accident. Prophylaxis, pre-protection. And anaphylaxis is a term for treatment use is a term for using for allergic reaction, severe allergic reaction. Next regarding explanation. Next regarding explanation. Anaphylaxis is a severe, potentially life-threatening allergic reaction, the severe form of allergic reaction, especially because of increasing histamine levels in the blood. And it can occur within the seconds or minutes of exposure to something you are allergic, such as peanuts as well as bee stings, whatever it may be, the allergens, antigens enter into the body. Prophylaxis, treatment given or action taken to prevent a disease. Trauma is an emotional response to terrible event like an accident, a rape, or natural disaster. Proteolysis is a breakdown of proteins into small polypeptides, nothing but amino acids. Okay, next, what is the purpose of transdermal drug delivery system? The purpose of transdermal drug delivery system is maybe to bypass hepatic first pass metabolism, simplify the therapeutic regimen, to permit rapid termination of medication, and all of the above. So the MCQ here is yes, answer is all of the above. Purpose of transdermal delivery system to bypass the hepatic system that makes less degradation of drug and increase the viability of drug. Simplification of therapeutic regimen, simplification of the treatment, application of drug to permit rapid termination of the medication. Once the action completed, the drug should be terminated, inactivated. So after completion of therapeutic action of a drug, if it inactivated, terminated immediately, the side effect profile will be decreases. Yes, let's see here. Yes, transdermal drug delivery system mostly you'll study in the fourth year. So TTD, transdermal drug delivery system, painless method of delivering a drug by systemically by applying a drug formulation onto intact and healthy skin. Intact and healthy skin. Advantages, yes, this, the administration is simple, the action will be prolonged for long time, reduction in the frequency of dosing. So initially you can take 100 mg and after that you can take 90 mg. So example I'm telling, so dose reduction will be possible. So bypass hepatic first pass metabolism, so does not pass through the liver, no degradation or inactivation of drug, and bioavailability is more. Flexibility of terminating drug. Once the drug action completed, it inactivate immediately. And bioavailability will be more, increases. Reduction of adverse effect. So if the drug is terminating immediately, once after completion of action, then no problem of side effects or adverse effect. Less chance of side effects, I am telling. Okay, next. Pick out the pick out the appropriate elementary route of administration when passage of drugs through the liver is minimized. Pick out the appropriate elementary route of administration when passage of drug through the liver is minimized. Okay, like transdermal, intraduodenal, oral, as well as rectal. Record the appropriate elementary route of administration when pass of drug through the liver is minimized. Okay, so if drugs passing through the liver is problematic because of first pass metabolism, then what is the alternative method? Yes, definitely will be the rectal route, because through rectal route in the form of suppositories or other formulation you can take. So the rectal route, the drug is showing local action. So no first pass metabolism, no decrease in bioavailability, no decrease in bioavailability. And let's see the discussion here. So rectal, because 50% of drainage of rectal region bypass the portal circulation, so does not interfere with the liver portal circulation. The biotransformation of drugs by the liver is minimized with rectal administration. So the biotransformation of drugs by the liver can be minimized by the rectal route, because if you are taking drug through the rectal route, it does not interfere with liver. Drugs absorbed into external hemorrhoidal veins. Wait a minute, I think the charging is low. Okay, thank you. So, drug is absorbed into external hemorrhoidal veins about 50% by bypass liver, but not that absorbed into internal hemorrhoidal veins. Not into the hemorrhoidal veins. Drug not absorbing to the hemorrhoidal veins. Next, intraduodenal. Situated in or introduced into the duodenum. Yes, simple. Oral route, regarding oral route you already know. And transdermal, mainly for the achieve systemic effect by application of drugs topically to the skin by rubbing or application in the form of patches, like nicotine patches for treatment of nicotine addiction. Next, the continuation. The term related to detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects. Prevention of adverse effect. Detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effect is pharmacoepidemiology, pharmacoeconomics, toxicology, pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is the supervision of the what is the safetyness of drug, what is the adverse effects of the drugs. So for that you have to choose pharmacovigilance. I hope now many B Farm freshers are looking and they showing interest on pharmacovigilance. Yes, it is having good scope regarding their future growth as well as salary growth also. Yes, let's see the discussion here. Pharmacoeconomics deals with the cost, that is economic aspects of drugs therapeutically. Pharmacoeconomics, economical, so what is the cost, like that. Pharmacoepidemiology, study of both useful and adverse effects of drugs on large number of people. Yes, in this much region of people the drug is showing action of this, and in this region people the drugs are showing action like this. Like this epidemiology based on the regions. Pharmacovigilance deals with the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effect of drugs. Pharmacovigilance. The supervision at what dose the drug is beneficial, at the what dose the drug is producing non-beneficial, nothing but adverse effect side effects. Next, toxicology deals with adverse effect of drugs. Also, study for detection, prevention, treatment of poisoning. Treatment of poison, that is toxicology. Next, which are the following statement? Yes, little bit fast I am, because the time is more you will get boringness, because and only thing is what is MCQs, understand the MCQs, observe the options, and identify the right answer. Which of the following statement correctly define essential drug? Used to modify or reset the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm nothing but biological clock. Satisfy the healthcare need of the majority of population. Prevention and treatment of rare disease. Single active chemical entity present in the medicine. So which of the following statement can satisfy the essential drug? So single active chemical entity, no. Prevention and treatment of rare disease, no. Used to modify or reset the circadian rhythm, and definitely the option will be the B, because the essential drug should satisfy healthcare need of the majority of the population. So again, what is simply drug? It is a single active chemical entity present in the medicine that is used for diagnosis, prevention, treatment as well as cure. That is simply, that is the role of the drug. Chronobiotics used to modify or reset the circadian rhythm. So this is very important. So remaining things by studying you can easily understand. And this is, you have to remember, chrono, time. Drugs that be used to modify or reset the circadian rhythms known as chronobiotics. Next, essential medicines, like they have to satisfy the needs of majority of the population according to WHO guidelines. And orphan drugs, these are the drugs mainly for prevention and treatment of the rare disease. So one of the orphan drug, clofazimine, and many number of orphan drugs we discussed in the previous slides. Yes, as you know already, the GDC is always at the footsteps of our students, and definitely we are ready to deliver anything for you regarding classes, regarding MCQs, expression, whatever it may be. And it is also very essential that go through these books like Pharmacist Fingertips as well as Pharmacist Fingertips at MCQs also. Okay, so this is a theory and this is the objective. So you will get these books with the discount prices I mentioned here, and with 3999 you will get all things, books, classes, everything. And only books you will get, you can directly go to the GDC class app or you can directly contact me on 799 531 8103. And next MCQ, the father of modern pharmacology is Oswald Swedenborg, Alexander Fleming, Graham Book, as well as Anthony Vaughan. Yes, the answer will be the Oswald Swedenborg. Yes, Oswald Swedenborg is generally recognized as founder of the modern pharmacology, Oswald Swedenborg. And Johann Ernest Oswald Swedenborg was a Baltic German pharmacologist. He is recognized as father of modern pharmacology, Oswald Swedenborg. Who is the father of Indian pharmacology? Ramnath Chopra, Paul Ehrlich, Alexander Fleming. Yes, Colonel Ramnath Chopra was regarded as father of Indian pharmacology. Okay, so Oswald Swedenborg, modern pharmacology, father of modern pharmacology, and Colonel Sir Ramnath Chopra, regarded as father of Indian pharmacology, initiated experimental evaluation of indigenous and traditional drugs. So without experiment, you cannot get the clear clarity on that particular subject. Okay. And regarding Oswald Swedenborg, the father of pharmacology, modern pharmacology, he observed the effect of muscarine on heart. Muscarine is a parasympathomimetic. The parasympathomimetic on heart decreases heart rate, negative inotropic action. Discovered gluconic acid and urethane. Urethane is a hypnotic. Next, drugs used in rare disease are known as orphan drugs. Drugs used for rare disease are nothing but orphan drugs. Option orphan drugs, antibiotics, antiviral, analgesics. Definitely the option will be the orphan drugs. And again, the orphan drugs, some of the orphan drugs I mentioned. Orphan drug means prevention and treatment of rare disease. Yes, and here the examples like digoxin antibody, levothyroxine, rifabutin, sumatriptan, famotidine, amphotericin B nitrates. These are also list of drugs comes under orphan drugs category. Orphan drugs for treatment of rare disease. What is the source of aspirin? Synthetic, plant, mineral, animal. 100% aspirin is synthetic, prepared in the laboratory. Aspirin is a acetyl salicylic acid. Aspirin is a acetyl salicylic acid. So you can remember aspirin here. A means acetyl, S means salicylic acid, P means prostaglandin, and iron means inhibitor. Inhibit the synthesis of prostaglandins, acetyl salicylic acid. Aspirin is a acetyl salicylic acid derivative. Inhibit the prostaglandin synthesis. By that inhibit the COX-1 COX-2 enzyme. And aspirin is the only NSAID irreversibly inhibit both COX-1 COX-2 enzyme by causes acetylation of serine residues. Yes, the same point you can observe in the previous slides. Yes, natural source will be the plants, animals, minerals, microbes, as well as human also, and synthetic directly in the laboratory. And regarding biotechnology, nowadays biotechnology is the leading for synthesis of nothing but production of drugs like human insulin, humulin, and rituximab like monoclonal antibody, and enzymatic preparations like urokinase, a fibrinolytic drug. Next, yes, the last MCQ. Enema is administered through the body surface, rectum, oral, sublingual. Enema nothing but cleansing preparation, cleansing solution. 100% these are for the rectum enema. So what is enema? Let's see. Enema involves inserting liquid or gas into the rectum, which is the lower part of the large intestine. So generally enema for relieving of the constipation and treatment of fecal impaction and used to deliver the medication and prepare for the medical procedures also for any surgeries, any medical procedures to involving through the rectum. So enemas nothing but like a these are liquid preparations or in the form of gases, especially for the cleansing as well as to relieving pains at the rectum and to also prevent the constipation. So yes, this is our Tejas series regarding our first topic on the pharmacology introduction as well as route of administration, the MCQs with detailed explanation. So if you having any comments, please mention the comments. Definitely we will take it and we will try to rectify them 100%. Okay, so if you want to join our coaching, you can contact me. Thank you, and we'll connect with the next session MCQ explanation. Okay, so subscribe to GDC English classes for more updates as well as details. Okay, thank you.